I've always criticized Texas Instruments for not giving customers a fast calculator for the money, especially compared to what we have on the market right now. I've said it before and I will say it again. I'm probably gonna say it again tomorrow. The HP Prime is the fastest calculator ever since it came out in 2013. And since 2013, Texas Instruments released, I believe, two other calculators or just one Texas Instrument, just one TI Inspire, and that last one came out in 2018, the Inspire CX2. However, the first gen here, this one that was launched in 2013, is still a lot faster than the TI Inspire CX2 that came out in 2018. Even though I always criticize Texas Instruments for making the slowest calculator in the market, I also tell people not to be too concerned about calculator speed, because a lot of the speed tests you see online, on YouTube, on calculator forums, they are not real world usage cases, scenarios and stuff. I do some myself. Those benchmark, those speed tests are just there to tell you what your computer is capable of. In this case, computer is the calculator, obviously. Wouldn't you rather have it not need it than need it and not have it? I know for sure I want it. Here the keyword is want, not need. I don't know much about car, but I believe Tesla made a car not too long ago that can get to from 0 to 60 miles per hour in supposedly I say supposedly because there's an asterisk in the in that somewhere in there. So the car is supposed to be able to do 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds, 1 second and 99 to be exact. Anyways, that is still unbelievably fast. And my question to you is, how many people do you know that do 0 to 60 on a public road in a Tesla on a daily basis? I don't know about you, but I've never seen anyone that does that, and I don't want to, because that wouldn't be too that would be kind of reckless, if I have to say. However, I'm also pretty sure that Tesla make other cars that don't go nearly as fast as that car. If you had the opportunity to be given either one of the car, would you rather have the fastest one, or would you rather have the other one for the same price? Okay, you see, that's my question to you now. The question is, would you rather have the fastest car for $30,000, or would you rather have the slower car for the same price? They have the same gas mileage, they have the same everything. That's the question. That's my question to you. Obviously, naturally, some people would probably want to go with the later choice because they don't want to be tempted. I can understand that. But that was one of the best examples I could come up with. Here, we are talking about calculators. It's not like a lot could go wrong. A calculator is different than a car. There are a lot of engineers inside the United States, not only the US, but anywhere in the world. There are engineers everywhere. At the same time, there are more non-engineers than there are. What I mean by that, most people who use calculator in school, most of them are not engineers, nor are they going toward being engineers. So that's the part of the reason why Texas Instruments are so successful, because they were made with the students in mind. And HP, on the other hand, is more targeted toward engineers, because HP can be a really complex calculator. The software implementation and some of the words and stuff, some of the functions name can be quite confusing for someone who is not too much into calculators, or for someone who is not too much into math, physics and stuff. Texas Instruments is like the iPhones of calculators, as in they make all the decisions for you. How fast the calculator is, and how the calculator is supposed to do certain calculation. So they make all the decisions for you. While on the other hand, The HP is like the Android of cell phones. So HP gives you a how can I say this word? This is one of the words I cannot say. Customization or customability is not even a word. Anyways, the uh, the biggest thing about HP calculator is the fact that they do support RPN. So this one, both of these have RPN. So RPN is reverse police notation. I guess I'm gonna have to say this in each of my video, because a new video is a potential new viewer. So the person is obviously not gonna go back and rewatch my videos. But I've said it before. RPN is a reverse police notation. It's a way of doing of putting expressions on your calculator. You know, it's a way of doing math, if you will. So there is that. But TI is only one mod, algebraic mod, and the HP obviously also has that, because it is meant to please both person, the engineer and the students. You know, most people who are familiar with HP calculators from the 80s, even the 70s, you know, they are going to appreciate the fact that this one has RPN. I know people that still use the 50G till this day. They prefer the 50G to any other calculators that's on the market right now. And part of the reason is because of how sophisticated that calculator was. Anyways, you might have noticed this is a rant. This is not a scripted video, and I must say that I digress a little bit, because I was talking about speed earlier. So this one is 2013, and this color TI Inspire came out in 2011, I want to say. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you something really quick. So I'm gonna put these next to each other, and I'm also gonna make sure that you are able to see this content on the screen by adjusting my brightness. Okay, it's much visible now. So I have a summation on the stack. I am trying to do the summation of 1 divided by x squared from 1 to, on the TI, it's from 1 to, let's see, 1 to 3, 4, 5, 1 to 3 millions. On the HP, 1, 2, 3, it's 1 to 3 million as well. But any of you who's watching this video is probably gonna guess the outcome of this, who's gonna get it first. We all know that. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the TI Inspire a head start by adding, instead of doing 3 million, 30 million, 300 million, 3 billion, 30 billion. So this is what we're gonna do. Again, to tell you that speed is not everything, no one is going to have to do this calculation in a real world scenario. So again, this is just to show you what the calculator is capable of. Again, remember, for the same price, for the same amount of money, you had a choice between this and this one right here. The reason why TI is not really doing anything about the calculator speed, you know, about their calculator having a bigger display, is because they feel like they don't need to, because they don't really have any real competition. And HP is, I must say, they are not really good at marketing. Okay, and I've talked, so let me go ahead. So I'm gonna get an approximate on here, and here I'm gonna try and do the same thing as well. Control is activated, the shift is activated here, so I'm gonna press enter. So on the HP, it was a matter of milliseconds. Remember, this is not the same as here. This is 3 million, and it's not even x squared, it's just 1 over x. And here it is 30 billion, 1 over x squared. I actually got this expression from a YouTube channel. I came across a YouTube video about calculator comparison, so you know, I thought why not, so I just used the same thing. But in his video, he did 1 million instead of 3 million. So I just wanna, I just wanna make things a little bit more interesting. Okay, so I decided to give the HP this one right here. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The point I'm trying to make is that for the same amount of money, as you can see, it's still thinking about it. For the same amount of money, you have this thing right here, this unbelievably fast computer right here that spits out the answer in less than a second, as you can see, and it can keep going. This was 30 billion. Let's do 300 billion. It's almost like it doesn't even think about it. As you can see, it's not even thinking about it. Okay, so this is just the reason why I feel cheated out of my money when I try to compare these two calculators. On top of that, the battery life on the HP is great. It doesn't really leave to be desired. I was not able to drain this battery out, and the standby time on the HP is much better than the standby time on the TI. I don't know what happened. Maybe, just maybe, it improved with the software updates, but I don't know yet. But I can have this calculator on the shelf for a month, for 2-3 months, an entire semester. If I charge it and just turn it off and put it on the shelf for an entire semester, I'll come back after the semester, pick it up, and turn it back on. It takes less than 5 seconds to boot up, like 2-3 seconds just to fully boot up. So that's really neat. On the other hand, this one, if I fully charge it and put it on standby, it's probably gonna last no more than a month or two, less than that. Like I said, maybe things might have improved with the latest software update, but I can't really say for sure because I just did the update for all my calculators, for all my Texas Instrument calculators not too long ago, so I haven't had the time to test that out yet. And as you can see, the TI is still breaking its brain trying to figure the answer to this summation here. But I don't know how long this video is gonna last, but by the time I finish this video, it's probably not gonna have it. And also, something I criticize TI about is that they are not really making any effort. Once again, it's because they know they don't have to. They feel like they don't need to do any effort because they already have the school market. The TI Inspire first came out in 2006. At the time, it was called the TI Inspire ClickPad, and it was launched alongside the Inspire CX, the Inspire CAS, or the Inspire ClickPad CAS. So that's just the computer algebra system. It's like the CX. There's a CX version of this and a CAS version, which is this one right here, and that was in 2006. And for those who still have the the ClickPad from 2006, they are not going to be in a new territory when it comes to the last TI that just went to the market in 2018. Well, I say just because 2018 is just 4 years, and in the calculator world, 4 years is not a lot if you really think about it. Okay, so since from 2006 till this day, Texas Instrument is still using pretty much the same interface, the same software for the most part. Just minor changes, different, slightly newer functions here and there. But for the most part, it's not going to be a new territory. For someone who's had the Inspire ClickPad, the only difference is probably going to be the keyboard layout. And that was a fixed problem later on in 2010 with the introduction of the Inspire touchpad. Unfortunately, I don't have the original ClickPad, but the keyboard layout, the key layout is different here. But as you can see, this is the touchpad. This was released in 2010, so 12 years ago. And shortly, the following year, they announced their first color Inspire calculator, which is this one right here, the Inspire CX. And when it comes to the software, the original ClickPad and the touchpad and even the CX, they essentially had the same software. It's just a different design. As you can see here, these two might look very different, but they really aren't. If you look closely, you would see that all the key placements are identical. It's just a different design, as you can see here. Whatever you see this key, you're gonna find the same placement over here as well. So it's just different design. And this one actually has a much bigger display. Let me go and turn it on, as you can see. And this one is a color display. As you can see here, this thing is still going on, but the software is essentially the same. Okay, so Texas Instrument really hasn't made any huge revolution when it comes to their calculator. On the other hand, if you take a look at this was released in 2013, and this is the 49G Plus that was released in 2003, and shortly HP released the 50G, I believe, in 2006, and the 50G and this one are literally identical. You know, same design, same everything, just different color. And the 50G also has an extra port over here. But this is, just picture this as being a 50G. So this is what you get. So from 2006 to 2013, so in less than 10 years, this is what HP did. So not only the calculator is color, as you can see, I'm gonna turn both on. I'm gonna go to home. So this is what you get. This is what I call a revolution. You adjust the brightness so you can see better. So the calculator is color here. Not only that, it is also touchscreen. As you can see, it has this. It has a lot of apps. It does 3D graph really well. It is unbelievably fast. And just this is second generation of the Prime that was released in 2018, I believe, also. But it is pretty much the same thing as this one right here. Okay, so this is what you get with the HP. It's revolutionary. Not only the hardware was completely different, even the software was also different. Like, if you were coming from a 50G, the Prime was going to be a whole nother base to learn about. So there is some, I guess there is a good side of that, and there is also a bad side. The good thing being that, well, at least you get a lot of new things, and the bad thing is, well, at least, I mean, the bad thing is that you're gonna have to relearn a whole nother calculator. You know, a lot of people did not like this one because of how complex it was, of how finicky the software was, and all that. But it still remains the fastest calculator till this day. Let me set this aside. The TI finally got a result. I don't know how much time has passed, but I totally missed that. But it took what? It took milliseconds for the first gen Inspire to get it. I mean, the first gen HP to get it, and it took maybe 10 minutes for the TI to get the same thing. And unfortunately, I don't have the CX2, but the CX2 is not going to be anywhere close to the HP Prime. So now that this is done doing the calculation, I'm gonna show you what you get. So if we go to home here, and you go to home, as you can see, don't be intimidated by the color display and all these keys. It is essentially the same thing as this one right here. They have pretty much the same functions, you know, the same library for the most part. They both do 3D graph. They both have documents. As you can see, they can both write programs as well, you know. So that is that. If you go to here, and you hit menu, as you can see, they both have the same option for the most part. As you can see, all numbers, complex number tool. As you can see, they are pretty much identical. So the same thing can be said for the ClickPad that came in 2006, and the TI has been using the same software over and over again. They're just doing a minor improvement, you know, slightly different speed bump, nothing like the HP. Okay, and even for those who are into calculators, they're probably gonna agree with me when I say that Texas Instruments hasn't really rewrote their software completely, which is understandable. They haven't rewrote their software since 1997. That's when the original TI-89 was released, 1997 or 1998, I believe. So this is a titanium here. So what I mean by that, I'm gonna use this one because the screen display is much better. So let's say I wanna solve a simple equation. So as you can see, you would think that this was announced in 2004, and it is, when it comes to the software, it is 99% identical to the original 89 that was released in 1997 or 1998. And to solve an equation here, you can either write it, I mean they have computer in it, so you can either write it or just use the F2 to get the solve function here, x squared minus 2x minus 1, and you have to set it to be equal to 0 or to be equal to a constant, doesn't matter the number. Put comma, put x, and close the parentheses and press enter, and you're gonna get your answer just like that. And with the Inspire, you would think that, well, they're probably gonna cut down the steps since 1998. It's been what? This was released in 2011. 1998 to 2011. That's a long time. That is a long time. So if you have to solve, so here the key make it easier, but you can also just go to menu, algebra, solve, and you would think that they would make things a lot better, that they are going to minimize the steps that you have to take. But now, don't get fooled, it's the same steps. You still have to do the x squared minus 2x minus 1. You still have to set it to be equal to 0 or a constant. You still have to put a comma. You still have to specify what you are trying to solve for, the independent variable. And when you press enter, you get the result the same way, and you even get the expression written the same way as here on the 89. Okay, so again, 1998 to 2011, how many years is that? 8 plus left this on, that's 13 years. Okay, so in 13 years, you would think that they are going to make a big improvement when it comes to the software, but they really haven't. These things follow the same rules for the most part. So what I mean by that, even the syntax, if I were to not specify the variable I'm trying to solve for, and I press enter here, it says too few arguments. If I do the same thing here, what do you think is going to happen if I remove the x? No surprise, you get the same message, too few argument. The only difference is that this one tells you the function or command is missing one or more arguments. Okay, so they just changed the software a little bit. And if I were to remove this thing right here, press enter here, if I were to remove the constant, just an expression instead of an equation, and press enter, too few argument, you get the same thing. And here I get the same thing as well. So again, same thing. But if I were to put comma here, x, put comma here, and x, so first argument of solve or C solve must be an equation or inequality, and it gives an example. For example, so yeah, that's that's nice and all, but you would think that after 13 years, the calculator should be smart enough to know that, okay, this is a quadratic equation. I want to maybe the person is just trying to solve for x because there's only one variable here, one independent variable here. And if I do the same thing here, as you can see, it's almost impossible for you to read it because the screen is really small on here. It says first argument of solve or C solve must be an equation of inequality. As you can see, they didn't even try to hide it. So it is pretty much the same software, and the way you put your equations here, your algebraic expression is pretty much gonna be the same as here. They made some huge improvement when it comes to putting like your logs, your summation, your integration, differentiation. Everything is made easier here. So that's actually really neat. but the HP has been easier in that department when it comes to specifying your independent variable. It's little things like this that makes it's little things like that that may make someone, you know, purchase a calculator or not. So if I turn this on, I go to cast, I'm gonna erase this, and I try to solve for the same equation 3 1. So x squared minus 2x minus 1. So on the HP, if I press enter, it's gonna give me a warning. It says, watch out, the argument is not an equation, so I am going to take your expression and set it to be equal to 0. Are you okay with that? So if I press enter, guess what? It's giving me my answer. I could also specify what I wanted to do. It is smart enough to be like, okay, this guy really knows what he's doing, so okay, I'm just gonna, you know, do exactly what he's asking. So you can specify or you don't have to, you know. So again, this video is just a rant. Like I said earlier, I would rather have it not need it than need it and not have it. If the good God let us live 50 more years, we are probably going to be talking about the HP Prime, you know, how great it was. Not only the HP Prime, HP calculators in general, they are great. But for some reason, they just have never been, they never received the popularity they deserve, in my opinion. You know, I believe that's part of the marketing. Not only the marketing, but also it has a lot also to do with their software, because it is really hard to recommend HP calculators to everyday students, because the calculator is really complex. Okay, so I am going to show you something. If I were to do this operation, the same summation we were trying to do earlier, I was doing the same thing here. If I go here, let me try to read this really quick. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, this is something the TI is not going to be able to solve in 10 lifetime. That's just a figure of speech. I could be right, you never know. So as you can see, this is 1 2 3, this is 1 billion right here. So if I were to evaluate this expression, this summation, integer too large, okay, let's see. Okay, I didn't think this through, so I guess that's a mistake. So I'm gonna cancel this. It is indeed too large. I mean, that is to be expected. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I got a little I got a little too excited. So let's go and change this up. So let's keep it at 10 million. Let's try to evaluate this. Okay, let me pause this video and try to figure it out. It shouldn't be a problem. Okay, yeah, like I said, I guess I got a little bit too excited. But this is a summation here of 1 over x squared. So let's find out. I could be wrong. So this video is I'm not trying to say that, you know, I favor one calculator to another one, because I really don't. I purchased all these calculators with my money, and I wish they were all great. I wish they were equally fast, but reality says otherwise. So let's see, divided by x squared, and it's just gonna be 100. And if I press eval on both at the same time, well, I guess I was wrong, and I'm glad I'm wrong. But earlier I was doing a different operation. Let me show you. I believe it's the example I got off YouTube, you know, because YouTube likes to recommend me calculators videos. Sometimes I have a calculator channel, so I click on the video, I'm interesting, let me do this on my calculator, see what I'm gonna get. So its example was, I think I already pasted. Okay, this was his example. I'm just gonna put 1 million, and here I'm gonna put the same thing. 3. And if I press eval, enter, this one got it already. That's how quick it was. With the HP, you have to do an extra step and try and do the approximate. So that's part of the reason why I can't recommend this calculator, because it has a like a learning curve to it. It's hard to learn, and you get the answer in millisecond. If I go back once more, the TI is still doing it. Put 1 million here. Eval, shift, enter. I have the answer in like a second, in like a millisecond, and the TI is still thinking about it. So that's what I'm saying. This is a 49G Plus. This came out in 2003, almost 20 years, and this one came out in 2011. So yeah, as you can see, it is what it is. And once again, don't get too fooled about this shiny, good looking Inspire. I'm just gonna interrupt this because we don't really need to. As you can see, it's gonna take about the same amount of time to do a summation here, even though this one is supposed to be faster. If I put this here, one divided by x squared. Let's see. I want to make this fast, so I'm just gonna put 1000 here. Okay, I don't know what just happened. So obviously, if you have the choice, it's best to just go with it's best to just go with the color one, because it is just convenient, you know. It's just why would you not get the color one? So okay, so let's just put 10,000. That's reasonable. 10,000 here, and I'm gonna hit enter at the same time. At least I'm gonna try to. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, they're probably gonna get the result at the same time. The non-color one actually got the result first, so that's just to tell you that TI is TI, Texas Instrument is Texas Instrument. They're not the fastest calculator, but they are great calculators. This rant has gone long enough. I think it's time to stop. Again, if you have any questions, just make sure you put them in the comment section. Thank you.